An Otago University researcher hopes to gain insights into obesity levels among Pacifica by studying neophobia, or resistance to new foods. Dr. Edmund Feoko of the Department of Human Nutrition received a $30,000 New Zealand dollar grant from the Health Research Council. He says Pacific peoples need to shift behaviours, experiences and ideas around food, especially the need to consume so-called new foods. He spoke with Don Wiseman, who asked him to first define neophobia.
In a nutshell, food neophobia is the fear of trying new foods into your daily diets or in your meals. And so in the literature, a lot of the foods that have been highlighted that's seen as new foods is fruit, veggies, seeds, nuts, and whole grain products. And a lot of the research so far regarding food neophobia has focused solely on children or infants and introducing, more healthier foods to our young people. But I guess with this study, I'm looking at our Pacific families, and so I'll be looking at Pacific adults as well to see what's holding us back from exploring and consuming new foods into our daily diets.
Yes, and when we talk about new foods in this context, it's healthy foods.
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess for everyone, myself included, we like what we know.
That's right, and it's similar with Pacific as well, and we like what we know and we like what we have grown up with. And unfortunately, what a lot of our young Pacific people have grown up with is not the healthy foods that we now see that's been emphasized in the media and also in research as well. So I guess my hope in this study is to explore what's holding us back or what are the barriers, and also see what the potential opportunities there are for our Pacific people to start exploring and consuming these new foods into our daily diets.
Why do you think obesity is so prevalent among Pacifica, both in New Zealand and in the islands?
That is the million-dollar question, and I think there are a lot of factors and a lot of issues. We can look at monetary, we can look at the social, cultural, but we can also look at the systemic issues that take place in terms of the importation of processed foods into the Pacific. And these are the foods that we, not just Pacific, but everyone really love to eat because it has additional flavors that we don't usually cook with. And so there are a lot of factors behind to why obesity is a major issue. I guess from a Pacific lens, and I'll talk about one is the importation of processed foods. You go to the Pacific at the moment and 9 times out of 10, everything is in our backyard, in terms of the plantation, the crops, and also in the sea as well. And yet a lot of our people who would often resort to, instead of drinking coconuts or coconut drink from a coconut, they'll just buy from a bottle, or instead of just drinking mango drinks, they'll buy it from a bottle. You look at tuna, for example, you can actually go and fish for some tuna and other seafoods. And yet the go-to is to buy it from a can. And so these are the ongoing issues that are taking place, not just in the Pacific, but also here in Aotearoa for ethnic and Indigenous communities here in New Zealand.
So a lot of it, in a way, is not so much new foods, but going back to the old foods.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. It's, fruit, veggies, seeds, nuts, whole grain products. They actually exist in our Pacific traditional diets. And so my hope is to get our people to start thinking about going back to these traditional diets and not being reluctant to consuming these new foods. Unfortunately, here in New Zealand, as already been highlighted across many years now, in terms of the healthy foods and the cost that it's a barrier for a lot of our working class families, and hence why we do resort to the cheaper and unhealthier food. And yet the healthy foods that are expensive exist in our traditional Pacific diets from a long time ago. So my hope is to revitalize these traditional diets and getting our people, particularly our young people, to start consuming these new but traditional foods that exist in our Pacific diets.
Now, you've got this research grant from the Health Research Council through Otago University. It's not a very bbig grant, is it? How long is it going to be, and how will you actually undertake the work?
Yeah, so it is not a big grant, but it's often seen as a seed grant, which means it gives me the opportunity to conduct a study and also kind of see what findings I can get from it, and then scale it up to a big nationwide study. So for this study here, I'll be exploring Pacific people and food neophobia particularly in the Otago region, where there is a growing Pacific population around Oamaru, Dunedin, and Otago, and everything in between, I guess. And then from there, hopefully we can scale it up into bigger and explore bigger funding opportunities in the future in the next 18 months, and then we'll go nationwide.